Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
50 Cent is living his best life right now. And honestly, who can blame him? Because Rick Ross just pulled a move so wild, so out of left field, that it's got the whole internet buzzing. And the craziest part? Everyone saw it coming except for one person. Big Meech. Yeah, you heard that right, Big Meech. The streets are talking, and what they're whispering is that Ross played Meech so bad, so dirty, that Meech might have allegedly put a hit out on him. Seriously, a hit. This isn't just internet beef, this is next-level drama. And the internet? They're eating it up like it's the season finale of the most insane reality show ever produced.
I'll buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your masters.
But let's be real for a second. What did Big Meech actually expect when he started messing with a former corrections officer? Did he think Ross was playing a different game? It's time we dive headfirst into this mess because it's way deeper than just a rap beef. So here's the backstory you need to understand. 50 Cent has been throwing shade at both Big Meech and Lil Meech on social media for ages, especially since Rick Ross decided to throw 50 under the bus. The shade isn't just subtle, it's full-on eclipse level. But here's where things get really twisted. The part that had everyone scratching their heads. Big Meech, fresh out of prison, immediately gets super cozy with Rick Ross. Like Ross was some kind of savior, his long-lost best friend? Instead of showing respect to the guy who actually held things down, who stayed loyal, and we all know who that is, 50 Cent Meech decides to roll with Ross. The same Ross who's been locked in a years-long feud with 50. That move alone had folks raising eyebrows so high, they almost disappeared into their hairlines. 50 wasn't expecting Meech to start a war with Ross on his behalf, but come on, smiling in pictures with Rose? Acting like Ross has been in his corner all these years? That's gotta sting. For someone who prides himself on loyalty, watching Meech give Ross the spotlight must have felt like a straight-up betrayal, a slap in the face with a smile.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
And just when you thought the level of betrayal had reached its peak, nope. Big Meech decided to twist that knife even deeper. He linked up with Floyd Mayweather, while Lil Meech started acting like he had something to prove, all while 50 Cent was out here preaching about real loyalty, real power, real everything. Seriously, is that how you thank the man who basically handed your son a $5 million head start, a whole career on a silver platter? Wild. Some people love to say 50 made a fortune off Big Meech's name, and maybe he did, maybe he profited. But at least he built something legit from it. He put Lil Meech on the map, gave him a platform, created a whole legacy around the BMF story. Meanwhile, what did Rick Ross actually do? Man played Big Meech like he was just another pawn on some twisted chessboard. Ross knew this whole situation was a ticking time bomb, a drama volcano about to erupt, and he leaned right into the chaos, chasing attention, flexing for the spotlight, pumping up his own ego like it was his full-time job. And then, when the drama started getting too hot to handle, when the heat got turned up too high, Ross hit the eject button faster than you can say Maybach music.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, nigga. What you asking for my sympathy for, nigga? You be alright. Ho ass, nigga.
Before anyone could even figure out what was happening, suddenly, Rick Ross is out here talking about a shoulder injury. A shoulder injury? Really? That's his escape plan? And of course, he made sure the whole internet knew about it, posting pictures, looking all victimized, hoping people would actually buy it. But here's the real plot twist, the part that's even crazier than a fake shoulder injury. That injury wasn't just a flimsy excuse to dodge the Big Meech situation. Nope. Ross was using that to duck something way bigger, something way messier. He didn't want to face the same fans he allegedly scammed with his seriously sketchy crypto coin Boss Token. Remember that? The internet dragged him through the mud for that one, branding him Rug Ross because he straight up pulled the rug out from under people who trusted him with their hard-earned cash. And let's just say, when he fell hard. The backlash was brutal. And let's not overlook the timing here. Just days after Rick Ross allegedly lied to Big Meech, got completely exposed for it, he conveniently pops up with a broken shoulder. Come on now, that timing is way too perfect. It's screaming escape plan, not accident. And according to the whispers floating around, Ross was actually the one in Meech's ear, hyping him up, planting the idea that he should ask 50 Cent for even more money.
Burn it all down. If you piss him off. His own sometimes too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless of how much money he makes.
You literally cannot make this stuff up if you tried. Now look at Big Meech. He's sitting on empty, with absolutely nothing tangible to show for any of this drama. And that's exactly why other artists are steering clear of him like he's carrying some kind of contagious bad luck. Remember those Wingstop franchises people swore Meech was about to be swimming in profits from? Well, word is, Rick Ross quietly sold off most of them. Yup, only kept maybe 2 locations. Just enough to maybe move some money around into his real estate ventures behind the scenes. Sneaky, right? Truth is, if Ross hadn't stepped in and stirred the pot, if he hadn't gotten involved, Big Meech might have actually had a real shot at a comeback, at rebuilding something. Instead, he just kept making one bad decision after another, stacking them up like dominoes ready to fall. And Lil Meech? Man was out here burning through millions, splurging on Chrome Hearts jeans, trying to stunt like he was in Gunna's tax bracket. Now everything they built, everything they had, gone. Just like that. Folks online are having a field day, absolutely roasting Big Meech for how spectacularly the so-called friendship with Ross imploded right in his face. One voice that's been especially loud, especially critical, Michael Rainey Jr., Tariq from Power. He didn't sugarcoat a single thing. Straight up said he doesn't feel bad for either of them because they're both grown men and they should have seen this train wreck coming from a mile away. And 50? He's been chilling in his own corner of the internet, co-signing every single bit of it. Let's be real. Everybody knows how wild 50 Cent gets when someone crosses him, when he feels betrayed. Even DJ Vlad, who knows a thing or two about beef, co-signed that. 50 is the absolute last person you want to get into a feud with, because if he feels wronged, he'll burn the whole thing to the ground just to prove a point. And Big Meech? He definitely ain't the first person Rick Ross has left stranded, high and dry in the middle of nowhere.
Bad guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech.
No.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
Ross has a track record, and it's not pretty. He even did his own team dirty, left them to get jumped in Canada, then came back talking about he was just testing their strength. Like, what? That's not leadership. That's straight up twisted. Rick Ross has been playing this sneaky, manipulative game for a long, long time, and now even Whack 100 is stepping into the ring, calling out Ross as the real snake in this whole drama between 50 and Big Meech. And get this, Whack claims he saw the whole setup coming from day one. Ross was never genuinely down for Meech. From the very beginning, he was playing him, hyping him up to turn against 50, feeding him all these grand dreams about stacking money, building an empire, creating something major, but in reality, it was all smoke and mirrors, a carefully constructed illusion. And truth be told, Whack 100 might have just hit the nail right on the head. Because if Rick Ross was truly about putting Meech back on his feet, about genuinely helping him rebuild, he would have kept everything low-key, moved in complete silence. But no, Ross wanted to be loud, wanted the attention. He was clowning 50 online, talking big about buying the rights to the BMF series like he was actually making some serious power moves. But guess what? That was all cap, all fake. None of it ever actually happened. And now, Ross has ghosted Meech completely. You don't see him mentioning his name, no collabs, no business ventures, nothing. The only thing Ross is pushing now is whatever directly fills his own pockets. And Big Meech clearly ain't part of that plan anymore. And here's the part that's got everyone absolutely gasping. The real shocker. Word on the street is that Rick Ross was actually the real reason Big Meech's welcome home benefit party got shut down. But the whole time, he had everyone pointing the finger at 50 Cent, making him look like the bad guy. Why would Ross do that? Easy. Ross didn't want Meech getting that spotlight, didn't want him stacking real bread from a comeback concert. He wanted Meech stuck in his shadow while he played the nice guy, the supportive friend in front of the cameras. Remember when 50 posted, then quickly deleted that message saying, "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." Most folks just thought he was deflecting, playing innocent. But now it's all starting to add up, making a lot more sense. All this time, Big Meech thought Ross had his back, especially after that BMF track where Ross actually rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech." Wild, right? But here's the ultimate plot twist, the one that's got everybody's head spinning in circles. What if Rick Ross didn't just admire Big Meech? What if, deep down, he actually wanted to be Big Meech? Real talk. Ross has a whole history of building his brand, his entire persona, off the backs of legendary street figures, especially the ones who were running the game long before he even came onto the scene. And this isn't just some wild theory. It's backed up by cold, hard facts. Let's not forget, Ross straight up stole his rap name from the real Rick Ross, a major kingpin, a notorious drug lord who was locked up when the rapper Ross rose to fame. And when the real Rick Ross eventually got out, he confronted the rapper Ross, and things got heated fast. He even took him to court over it. That drama kicked off around 2005, and by 2010, it had turned into a full-blown legal battle, a fight for his own name. Ross built an entire empire, a multi-million-dollar career off names that didn't even belong to him. And now, people are starting to seriously wonder if he tried to pull the exact same move with Big Meech, essentially trying to become him, to embody his legend. Back in the 80s, the real Rick Ross, the kingpin, not the rapper, filed a lawsuit against William Leonard Roberts II, better known as Rick Ross the Rapper, for straight-up jacking his name and image. The real Ross accused him of trademark infringement, identity misuse, all of it, but rapper Ross claimed he just made the name up himself. Yeah, right. And in 2013, guess what happened? The judge actually sided with the rapper. Why? Let's keep it a buck. Ross had the fame, the money, the influence. Plus, don't forget, he used to be a cop. The system was already leaning heavily in his favor. The judge ruled that his use of the name was protected under the First Amendment, free speech. Just like that, the real Rick Ross lost his own name, and the rapper walked away with it like it was nothing. Now, knowing all of that history, is it really that crazy to think Ross might have tried to pull the same exact move with Big Meech? Let's connect the dots. First, he drops that BMF track rapping, "I think I'm Big Meech." Bold move, right? Then, the second Meech gets out of prison, Ross is all over him like they've been best friends for years, acting like he's there to support him, to help him get back on his feet. But when it actually came time to show up, to put in real work to help Meech bounce back, Rick Ross ghosted him, vanished into thin air. And guess what? This isn't even the first time he's played this exact game. He did almost the same thing with Larry Hoover back in 2021. Ross has a clear pattern, a whole playbook of using real-life kingpins in his lyrics, in his music videos, to boost his own image, while they're stuck behind bars, unable to benefit from it themselves. Word on the street even says he paid millions to the gangster disciples just to keep Hoover's name in his songs without catching any heat. That's not homage. That's calculated clout chasing, and Ross has turned it into a full-blown business model. But when it was actually time for Rick Ross to stand up for Larry Hoover's cause, to show some real love, some genuine support, he vanished. Straight ghosted the whole movement. Instead of putting in real work to help, Ross was just name-dropping Hoover in his music, stacking profits off the man's legacy and giving absolutely nothing back. People weren't having it either. Ross got dragged all over social media for that one. To this day, folks still clown him, saying he fumbled the whole thing, was too shook to even show his face at the stadium event for Hoover. And now, we're watching the same exact mess happen all over again with Big Meech. History is just doing a remix at this point. No wonder 50 Cent once said he's never respected Rick Ross as a person. And honestly, can you blame him? Ross flips on people faster than a light switch. And let's be real, 50's probably somewhere grinning right now, watching this whole situation unfold, crash and burn, without even lifting a finger. He's got absolutely nothing to prove. While this whole drama is imploding, 50's busy dropping new projects, stacking more money every single day. Meanwhile, Big Meech and Lil Meech, they're out here bouncing from one celebrity to the next, allegedly asking for handouts just to keep the lights on. It's a mess, a straight-up disaster. And here's the wildest part of all. Rick Ross used to clown 50, calling him broke, laughing at him for struggling to secure a loan to build his movie studio. He genuinely thought 50 was down bad on his last leg. But guess what? Just a few days ago, that loan finally got approved. Yep, Ross is now watching in real time as 50 turns that vision into a reality, building his empire even bigger. At the end of the day, 50's still standing strong, still building, still untouchable, while Ross has to watch it all play out from the sidelines. A whole lot of fans are convinced 50 is out here punching the air with joy right now. And honestly, who could blame him? Just a few weeks back, Ross was all over social media bragging about supposedly buying 50 Cent's masters. Looking back at that now, it sounds like a straight-up joke, a desperate attempt to save face. Meanwhile, Lil Meech and Big Meech seem to have learned some seriously hard lessons in loyalty and who to trust. But let's keep it real. It's probably way too late for 50 to take Lil Meech back under his wing, or to even try to help Big Meech recover from this self-inflicted mess. That ship has sailed, long gone. One person who's been vocal, consistent throughout this whole saga? Zip with the drip. He clocked the truth from day one. He stood by 50, saying he knew Big Meech was being played, used, and manipulated. Zip even called it early, predicting that Rick Ross was going to dip on Meech the second the heat turned up, the moment things got real. And boom, here we are now, watching that exact prediction unfold in real time. Now, fans all over the internet are weighing in, and the overwhelming majority are saying Big Meech is done in the game, washed up. Whatever shot he had at a major comeback, gone. Wasted. You'd think after doing that much time behind bars, Meech would have come out with more wisdom, maybe a sharper eye for the fakes and snakes lurking around him. But nah, it feels like he came out even more reckless, more easily swayed than ever before. One fan summed it up perfectly, and it's hard to argue with. Let me get this straight. A former corrections officer flip-flopped on a dude who came out of prison? Who didn't see that coming? And then, a two-faced dude gets played by another two-faced dude? That's karma, plain and simple. And this karma? It got served hot, fresh out the oven, no delays, no substitutions. But real talk, where do y'all stand on this drama? This situation's got layers, it's complicated, messy. So what do you really think? Is Big Meech somewhere behind the scenes plotting his revenge on Rick Ross? Or is he just gonna let this whole betrayal slide, fade away? Even while he's catching heat for allegedly turning his back on his childhood friend Cuff, this story is just getting messier and messier by the minute. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear all the hot takes, all your opinions. And if you were feeling this deep dive, if you got some value from this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share it with someone who needs to get the tea, who needs to know what's really going on. Catch you on the next one.